Hello and welcome to Cooking the Books with Heather. Today we're going to be making these nuts from Vivian Howard's second cookbook. This will make it taste good. These are very, very similar to something we have already made on the channel, but I'm going to go ahead and do this because we're going to use them to top something that we're making today. So these are basically a roasted spiced nut with some sugar and some spicy stuff, and that's what we're making. They're a lot like Viv's Addiction. I will link that above here, which is another sort of glazed, roasted, spiced nut. So first thing I'm going to do is put together the spice mix with salt, kosher salt, some sugar, just regular granulated sugar. Here I have some paprika and quite a bit of cayenne pepper. And I'm going to just mix it up with my whisk because I'm going to use the whisk for other stuff anyway. Now, the thing that's going to help all of this stick to our nuts are egg whites. So I have separated them in here, and now I'm supposed to whisk them with all my might until they form soft peaks. Okay, we're going to call that good. And now we're going to whisk in the spice mix that we just made and some Worcestershire sauce, which I still have to measure. There we go. And now it's going to deflate a lot, but all right. There we have a very spicy spice mix because I can smell it. And now I just need to stir in the pecans that I've already measured. And we're going to try to make sure that this covers every nook and cranny of every nut. So we're just stirring it in really, really well. So now I'm going to have my baking sheet with parchment paper or a silicone mat or foil. I would go with nonstick foil here if I were using foil. She says a silicone mat is the best option, but we're going to pour these out and spread them into a single layer. That is the goal. And try not to get them off of the parchment. That's my one. That takes a bit of doing just because they are kind of sticky because of the egg white and the sugar. These are going into the middle of a 350-degree oven for about 10 minutes. And then we're going to stir them up. So we'll see you in 10 minutes. All right, so this is after 10 minutes. And we just need to sort of stir it all up and around and then spread it back out. You can tell this is nowhere near done. Everything's still really wet. When it's done, it should feel pretty dry. The egg whites and everything will sort of dried out. And she says it will sound flat, kind of, when you hit them with your spatula, and right now it certainly does not. All right, so now done a lot of stirring, which is really hard with this parchment paper, which is why I can see that a silicone mat would probably be the best option. Now flatten it all back out into one layer. These are going to go back into the oven for 10 to 13 minutes until we think they're done. We don't have to do this part again, unless I think it needs it, but I don't think we will. So we will show you what they look like and let you know what we think in just a minute. On this episode of Cooking the Books with Heather, you watched me make these nuts from Vivian Howard's This Will Make It Taste Good. And this is sort of one of the base recipes that she, uses in a bunch of other things. But it was also very much like Viv's Addiction, which we made from Deep Run Roots, which I will have linked up here and will probably be linked down below. Very, very, very similar. It's the same sort of sweet and spicy glazed nut using egg whites to sort of keep all the spices together and on the nuts. And yeah, it's a really simple recipe. These are a little bit spicier, I think, than the other ones. The other ones had chipotle powder. I don't remember if there was any cayenne in them. It's been a while since I've made that particular recipe, but I do think these were a little bit spicier. I think I ended up cooking mine 15 minutes in the second round. It was definitely a little more than the 10 to 13 minutes. But you can cook them as long as you would like to, as long as you don't burn them. So just keep an eye on them. Check them every couple minutes because they will burn relatively quickly because there's sugar in there and nuts burn relatively quickly. So be a little careful with that. But other than that, cook them until they're to your liking. I think mine turned out a little bit browner than hers, but as long as they are done enough such that it's not really sticky, everything will be fine. Trust me. Anyway, we really liked them. We've made at least one thing that uses them, and we might make something else here soon. I don't know. I'll have to go through the list now that we've made these. She uses them in a Waldorf salad, and in a banana nut bread, in some ice cream, a parfait, and a very versatile smear of stuff. Quinoa salad, pimento cheese. Yeah, there's a lot of uses for nuts like this. So you can put them on anything. Definitely just throw them on whatever salad you want. Nice little sweet, spicy, crunchy addition. Love it. We like to keep, roasted nuts or this kind of nut, spicy, sweet, glazed nut. I like to make those every so often just to have them. They're currently disappearing at a rather quick rate. So if I do want to make something else with them, I will have to let the squirrel in my house know not to touch them. So she said they'll keep at room temperature for a month. So I still have a little while left before I have to use them up if they don't disappear. So if you've enjoyed watching me make this, please give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Come back and watch me make something else next week.